Today's exercise is the infamous, the coveted, and the largely misunderstood Romanian deadlift, AKA the RDL. So this one, we're gonna do a dumbbell version. And before I show you the exercise, I wanna just quickly give you a little bit of education and background on this particular exercise, why it's valuable, what it targets, and why you should incorporate it into your routine. First and foremost, one theme that you've heard me talk about is our dominance in the sagittal plane. We're always texting, we're reading, we're writing, we're at school. The 21st century living is predominant in a forward flexion posture, which leads to all sorts of joint biomechanical issues, causes of pain, arthritis, things that we're not really chalking up to postural or movement habits are absolutely rooted in how we're placing our body day in and day out. Your body is like clay. If I'm at a desk all day and I'm doing this, all the muscles of my joint are going to form specifically to that posture. That's kind of cool because, you know, the body's very adaptable, but the bad side of that is that it literally takes me out of where my body should be. So this exercise, the Romanian deadlift, is very cool because it does focus on some of the posterior chain muscles. So glutes, lower back, hamstrings, and it also brings in a fair amount of core to stabilize the exercise. Now, I'm going to show you a slant board version of this today because it's going to further accentuate the posterior chain. It's going to stretch out your hamstrings, which in 90% of Americans are shortened. So what we're going to do is grab yourself a pair of dumbbells, and I'm going to show you from a profile version here because it's going to be a little easier to track. Get onto a slant board, okay, and make sure your heels are pasted onto it. You're going to put a slight bend in your knees, and what I like to instruct here is don't lock them out as we would do in like a Jefferson curl. We're going to put a slight 10 to 15 degree bend, okay? Make sure that your heels are pasted onto the board. I'll see a lot where people kind of put a little bit of a lean. Don't do that. Put that pressure on the heels. Simultaneously, make sure that your posture's in check. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw like a line from my ankles through my knees. Now the ankle's going to be a little further back because of the slant board versus if I was on the floor, it would be a little bit more in line. So if that's a little posterior, that's okay. But the knee is in line with the hip is in line with the shoulder. So I pull my shoulders back and I pull my head back. From there, what I'm going to do is in a Romanian deadlift, I think of myself as a hinge. Okay, now where am I hinging? I am hinging in the hips. The motion of this exercise is being generated primarily, or should be generated by the gluteal muscles, the big glutes right there. We're going to kick them out a little bit. This is called the anterior pelvic tilt. We're going to set the hips. We're going to pull the chest up, keep the head back, and we're going to descend. We're going to hinge down. I immediately start to feel that in my hamstrings. And what I want you to do is go to a point to where you feel like your back is going to round, okay? That is where you have maxed out your hamstring mobility and flexibility, and then your back starts to compensate. That's the point where you do not want to exceed. So it's going to look like this. You come down. So for me, I'm not extremely mobile in the hamstrings, but I'm decent. I can come down. I can keep the back straight. That was about my max right there. Okay, if I go down, see how I round right there? That's a fault. So, again, shoulder blades back, head up, chest out. Think of this cue. Chin back, chest out. Chin back, chest out. Pull the shoulder blades back, hips back. As I come down, it's like I've got a string pulling my glutes that way. And another fault is people don't do that. They come too far forward, they're rounding. Notice my glutes are not going back far enough. It's almost like a counterbalance. As my chest comes forward, I'm counterbalanced by my glutes driving back and up, okay? One last thing, when you're down in the position, the most flexed position, I want you to think, drive up with the glutes, okay? You're gonna put all your mental focus there to drive with glutes. Why? Because in most people, the glutes are inactivated. They have been sat in a chair for so long. From a neurological level, they're not firing properly. So I want you to put your focus on your glutes, right? Really focus on having them contract, squeeze out, dig out of the pit. So there's the pit, putting all that focus on the glutes, boom. That is what should be bringing the torso up. For most people, if you feel excessive strain in your lower back, you know that you're not utilizing the glutes as you should. So there you have it, my friends. If you have any questions on any of these, that's why we're here. That's why we exist. And if you want to take your lifestyle to the next healthy level and cement habits that will last you a lifetime, that's why we're called Lifelong Fitness, because our program is about instilling lifelong, habitual, mental, and physical habits that lead to a life of happy, healthy physical body, mental body, and that's a life worth living with health and vitality. We will see you in the next video. Take care.